One.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get it shared on my page, and also that'll give us some time to get some people on there. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Friday.
Oh, so is it live?
It should be. Let me see. Did you do it on Wednesday night? Yeah, we on here, baby. Let me share this on my page.
Okay, because it's not showing up on mine.
Welcome to another episode of Wisdom and Wine, you guys. I see you, baby.
Okay.
This is your girl, Michelle, the lovely Michelle, the CEO, the head woman in charge. Okay, and then I am Tiara. I am the guest host for today. Miss Dean of Development, Miss Growth University, and we are here diving into the topic of healing today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How about
We've
you?
been having a great day so far. I'm
Yes.
feeling great as well.
Yes.
We hope you guys are having a great Friday. We want you guys to tap in, grab your glass, grab your shot glass, grab whatever is going to make you feel nice and comfy, and snuggle up with us. We would love for you to engage in the topic on the comments. So come on, jump into the comments if you have any questions, if you have any comments. We would just love for you guys to engage with us today as we talk about healing. Okay, and I know healing has so many different perspectives, so many different feels. So what comes to your mind if you are watching and you're joining in with us? What comes to mind when you think about healing? What about you, girl?
Sure, healing.
Woo!
Look!
It's definitely a journey.
Yes, it's definitely a journey.
It's a journey that doesn't feel good in the beginning, but if you really put the work in, you do see so many different things.
Yes.
You feel different,
Yes.
and like in a good way.
In a positive way.
In a beautiful way. And me and you, we have been on a healing journey together, but it's been so different for
Yes.
both of us to see each other healing. And it was something that you said when we started talking about this topic that really resonated with me, and it's also something that I've noticed in you, is that you said that you feel like you love differently. And first of all, I love that for my girl. But talk a little bit about that, friend. Talk about like how you feel like you love differently.
Well, because I feel like when you aren't in a healed or more healed space, and you're in relationships, when I say healed space, I mean dealing with your traumas, dealing with your insecurities, dealing with, whatever toxicity you had prior to get into relationships.
Yeah.
When you aren't in a good space with that, or haven't dealt with it, healed from it, and you go into another relationship, I feel like you can't really technically love right.
Right.
Because you're loving how you was loved prior to all that mess, or
Right.
all that trauma, or whatever you're not dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I feel like because I took the time to actually put into Michelle and heal, what I consider my healing and growth, it helped me to move forward to be able to love somebody differently.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I don't still have triggers. That doesn't mean that I'm still not working on certain things.
Right.
But it taught me how to be more patient with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It has definitely taught me to pick my battles wisely.
Yeah.
Everything ain't a fight.
Yeah.
But I still have my moments where,
I get it.
that paper was put on the table crooked. I told you to put it that way with it. And then, but there again, I have to look at myself and be like, Michelle, get it together.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that deep.
I feel you on that, and like I think that I love differently too, but like love looks a little different because I'm in a season of like loving myself, and I know that sounds very cliche to say that I'm in a season of loving myself, but this shit is real. I love myself so much differently now that I am on a healing journey, and I would say I'm realizing the behaviors that were learned, and I'm doing my best to figure out what I need to unlearn, so that when I am in another relationship, it really is a healthy relationship. And I would say also, like, me learning to love different, I am so much of a better communicator with the people around me. There were relationships where I did not express myself, or I expressed myself, but by the time I expressed myself, it was me yelling or feeling like I needed to, take it there. And you don't have to do that. When you are with somebody who is loving you in the right way, you can communicate effectively without it turning into arguments, without it turning into anything unnecessary. Even if you just come to a point where you agree to disagree. And like also, accountability is big for me right now. And like at the Growth University workshop, I talked about how I recently realized some of my toxic traits that I had. Because a lot of people, we want to throw the toxic word out there, and definitely we do run into toxic people, but the toxic people that we run into, sometimes we give them that same energy. You know?
And I think that it's easy for us to talk about how everybody else and their flaws and their toxicity, and I think that's where the healing and growth within yourself takes place.
Yeah, because it's like, what are you doing?
Yes, because one thing I can say is, even for me, like, one thing I had to realize is I can't control what that person is doing. I can only control my reaction to what I'm doing. So I had to sit back and think, okay, you have continued to do some of the stuff in the same cycle. So fix you, because you're the only one. I can't sit here and tell you to go to therapy, but I don't believe in therapy. That makes no sense. You know what I mean? I can't tell you what you need to do with yourself, but I'm not doing anything to fix myself. You know what I mean? Like, that's very, and so I have to take accountability for myself. But I think it's easy for people to avoid healing themselves and growing and changing by deflecting it onto other people anyway. Because then you don't have to, because like you said, going into a healing and a loving of yourself season is hard for people. Because you are by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you are literally, like you use the word, in a bubble. So you are self-reflecting and having to change things, and a lot of people can't look at themselves in the mirror.
And also, it comes back to like some of our basic needs, because one of our needs is connection. We want to have that connection with somebody. We want to find our person, like our person who we can, be balanced with, and who can understand us emotionally, spiritually. But that really is difficult. When you think about that, like a one person and all the people in the universe, that is difficult. And then also, even when you get that person is not supposed to truly ever be fully responsible for your happiness, or ever fully responsible for how you feel about you. That is a you job. And like, I can also say, like, in the past, in relationships, I realized that sometimes I would be so caught up in a person that I actually would get distracted off of tasks that I should be doing for myself. And I don't feel good to even admit that, to be honest with you, but if I didn't have the awareness, then I wouldn't be growing, So.
And that's what, all of us have done that. You know what I mean? Well, people who can admit it.
I
mean, God knows I did.
My name.
Where you at? Why you doing that? Why you breathing?
Okay.
Why you breathing near her? Just anything. Like, it was just, So.
And also, friend, let's tap into like how healing really does look different. First of all, it's not a straightforward thing. And I think that a lot of people think that it's supposed to be this like constant moving forward, or like this.
Wake up, you're healed.
Yes. And I feel like
people
some
get
people
frustrated because it's like within 24 hours, we're like, geez, it's better.
Thank you, God. I'm healed.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't work like that. It's like a continuous journey.
It's like, always, you're gonna always be healing, even if it's not from a relationship. You can be healing from something else. You can be healing from losing someone, childhood trauma, and then also like you could be healing from a relationship with something as simple as food. Like, I've had an unhealthy relationship with food that I am still currently, you know, working on healing, but it's just a part of being intentional and a part of really like taking healing seriously. But you can heal in a healthy way or you can heal in an unhealthy way. So what are some unhealthy ways that people heal around here?
So, in my opinion, unhealthy ways is having different sexual partners.
Yeah. Moving on too quickly.
Quickly,
I think that's definitely
staying in relationships and never taking that time to just to have a break. Like,
yeah.
But there again, I feel like that's a internal thing where you can't be alone.
Yeah.
That's a whole other issue that you have to deal with.
I agree.
But a lot of people will, you know, until they realize that, they'll just keep doing the same cycles.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one way I feel like some people do unhealthy healing.
If you guys are tapping in with us, then let us know in the comments some ways that you think that people heal like that are unhealthy, because you can heal in a healthy way or unhealthy way. I would say addiction. I think that some people don't want to face what has happened, and so some people will drink it away. And I mean, it's okay to have a drink here and there, but I'm talking about if you gotta have a drink, if you know have to be drunk, or if it's something that you feel like numbs the pain or like makes you not think about something that is really, really heavy on you, then that's something that you should probably like reconsider finding another way that you can like have a coping mechanism, because that's not a healthy coping mechanism. That actually drains you and it's not healthy for you.
I know for me, my unhealthy a period of my life was going out all the time.
Yes, me too. I went
was
through
going
that period
out
too.
a lot. Like, you know, if somebody was like, let's go, like I was on it. Like I was that girl, because I didn't have to deal with what I really needed to deal with.
Yeah.
So I know, you know, what I was, you know, whatever issues I was feeling like I should have dealt with, I wasn't having to deal with them because I was kicking it all the time.
Yeah. I would say unhealthy healing too, friend, is like social media can be an unhealthy way of healing. If you're on social media all the time, or you feel like you have to be on there, or if you're venting on there, a lot of people on this damn platform don't care genuinely about you. They're watching with popcorn, literally watching you just wither away, or watching you be this bitter person that you not even realize.
I think that you have to be careful of what you put on there too, because if you're a woman, you're showing men your weaknesses.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying you're not allowed to have them, but you're exposing to the world what the men can now use against you.
Yeah.
In the sense of, oh, well, I can run this game on her because she fell for it and she's putting it all out there. And the same for men.
Yeah.
Because women can be like, oh, okay, he be giving up money like that. Like, okay, you gonna put it on out there. So I don't feel like you should be showing all your cards all the time, like on those apps like that. For that reason, there's just some things I feel like need to stay sacred.
I agree. Because once you put it out into the universe, if you mess around and get back with that person, then what are people looking at you and saying?
But that's what I mean. People then are going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? So, and then on top of it, if you don't ever heal or grow or change, you're going to repeat that cycle.
You're going to repeat it. Even if it's a whole other person, it'll be the same type of thing.
Because we can both say we've done it.
Yes.
I've definitely done it.
Yes. And like now looking back
Jesus,
and being like, ooh, I had a little pattern going on.
Yes.
But it is power in being able to change that pattern, change that narrative, and like really change what type of decisions that you are making. And that also
and that's
is
where
that
accountability comes in, because there's people who will say like, no. But even for me, like, it might not be the exact same patterns with each person, but they was all cheaters, or they was all this, or they was all
always out,
there's always something. And some females deal with dudes who they gotta take care of. They gotta, you know what I mean? So, you know, because they need to feel needed, or, you know what I mean? It just depends on what it is within you that you are lacking. That's what you're gonna look for in another person.
Exactly.
You know? So, to do that with that person, you know what I mean? Like, in that sense, you know, I think.
Yeah.
So. But there's never, you know, going into relationships, nothing's ever 100% perfect. But I think when you find that person for you, things go so much more smoothly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I truly believe that until you get in a better space, you
pour your problems onto another person.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or you just you're not being the best version of yourself that you could be in a relationship. So I actually I was in a very healthy relationship at one point in time, and this was years and years ago. But like I was so used to toxic dudes or like the out here type of like guys that I really did not know how to function in this relationship, and I ended it. And now
it's boring to you.
It was like
the normalcy didn't make sense.
Yeah, the normalcy didn't make sense, but really like now that is truly all I crave, and I'm so grateful for that. Like and once you do up your standards, the pickings do get slim. I do believe that, but I just am willing to be patient in this season and pouring into myself, because what a future wife in me potentially looks like, or even just a really good woman to someone, I want to be like that healed version. I want to be able to be more patient, like you said, be able to be balanced on my own, be my own entity, and not feel like I always got to be in my person's skin. You know, that kind of is some attachment issues. I really want that to look like what it is that I'm walking into, and what it is that I'm being very careful about pouring into myself now. So, but the triggers, let's talk about the triggers, girl, because like you said, the triggers are still there, but as you heal, instead of lashing out on somebody or, you know, putting like a perspective on them right away, like, you know what, he's lying. Instead of it being like you're triggered and you're reacting, you react, but you can react in a different way, in a better way.
Right.
Like just expressing to your partner even like, hey, I feel like this is a trigger for me. Like this is how you're making me feel.
But there again, that's if you're dealing with the right partner.
Right. That
you can do that with. So when you're dealing with the right partner, you should be able to talk to them about your triggers, and they will be embracing of that and be more aware. When you're not dealing with the right partner, it's going to be a toxic situation.
Right.
What do you mean? Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? But when you're dealing with the right person for you, I feel like they're going to understand your triggers, and they're going to respect it and be like, okay, let me explain to you why I did A, B, and C.
Exactly.
And this is how you interpret it. I did it because your triggers, but I promise that wasn't what I meant to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they will know how to talk to you respectfully and walk with you through that journey, and then understand what your triggers are and not do them again. Or then you, after explaining to them your triggers, you'll be able to then now have better understanding of how they move. Yeah. And it won't affect you as much.
So really quick, this is like on the topic, but it's a little off the topic. It's a question that I just thought about. I want to ask you, how do you feel about going into a new situation and talking about how somebody else hurt you? Do you think that is necessary or no? And y'all chime in the comments too. Do you think that a person should go into another situation and say, you know, this is what the last person did and this hurt me? Like, do you think that type of stuff should be discussed, or do you think that it should not be discussed?
I think it is a very fine line.
This is my kids' bedtime alarm, but it ain't no kids here tonight. It is a very fine line, and I agree.
I think it's a very fine line, and I think it really just, I don't feel like everybody you date, you should tell your story to.
Yeah, or I don't feel like you should really go too deep into the story.
I use the word dating.
Yeah.
So I feel like if it's somebody you're dating, like it's still new and fresh, no, I don't feel like you should go into that story. Okay. I feel like if it goes down that path of being seriousness, I do feel like there are some things that need to be discussed. The reason I say that needs to be discussed, because there again, that past trauma or toxicity or whatever you dealt with could cause you to have triggers with this individual.
Yeah.
So,
or it could give a person in my opinion, it could give a person kind of like the green light. I hate to say that, but this is just my opinion. It could give a person a green light to see what type of stuff you dealt with in the past, and they may be like,
Right.
you know what? Well, if she dealt with that with
Right.
him, you know, she.
But that's
Let
why
me
I say,
slide.
like, with your discernment, you have to make sure it's somebody, like, that you are, I feel like if it's somebody you're real serious with. I think after time is invested is different than,
I don't think you should bring past relationships to something new. Thank you, Darlene, for saying that. Thank you for chiming in with us. I don't think so either. I think you have to be very careful with that. And like Michelle said, just a fine line. I don't think that really even matters. When you are genuinely getting, like, when you're getting to know a person and, like, you two are focused on y'all, I really don't think you should dive too much into your past relationships. Hey, Dion. Hi, Catherine. Hi. Yep, hi, Catherine. Hi, you guys. Thank you for chiming into this topic. This topic that has multiple different points of views that are valid. Okay, so let's
see, Kat.
Yep, hey, Kat. But I was curious about that because I had actually seen a video. There's a woman who, she's a content creator, and she was talking about how, I mean, she was very serious. She was like, you know, you women should not be going into these relationships talking about what has happened in the past. And it did give me some perspective. I understood what she was saying.
Right. That's why I said I think it's a very fine line.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have learned not to say too much, but I have been in situations where there's somebody who I've trusted fully,
Mm-hmm.
to where we have discussed things that we have. Yes. Now, I think that to me just depends on who it is that you're dating as well.
She said, hey, beautiful ladies, y'all are awesome for sharing all of this. I think it's okay to be honest but not talk about it too much, because if you are talking about it that much, maybe you are not even over it. That part, Kat. But I agree, only if you are very serious. Yes, because if you are talking to me about what your ex did, then I'm going to be like, it's giving you still want your ex.
I mean, I don't agree, like, sitting and talking about your ex all the time.
Right.
But, I mean, for me, because we're talking about healing.
Right.
For me, I think that if you are moving forward being serious with somebody, like, that goes with triggers.
Yeah.
I feel like if you have triggers, it's okay to explain to that person why and where those triggers came from.
Agreed.
Which is going to normally equate back to a past relationship.
Yes.
Especially if it's one that was toxic for you.
Yes.
So that is what I mean when I say there's a fine line on you talking about it. Because then that way you're able to explain to that person, like, this is why I reacted off of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is what I experienced with this, you know, this past person. So it brought me that flashback. Because when you're going through your healing, you're still going to have those triggers. It's just inevitable.
But heavy on the if it's serious.
If it's serious.
If it's serious.
I feel like only if it's people you're dating, no, I don't feel like everybody you're going on dates with, you should sit and talk about your ex. I just don't think you should be talking about that.
Yes.
Like, there's so much more to discuss than your ex and what he did to you or she did to you. Like, you know.
So what are some healthy things that you did to heal? And I will share as well, but we talking about healthy healing because we talked about unhealthy healing a little bit, but let's talk about some ways that people can heal in a healthy way. That's going to like truly benefit you, bring that growth out. True healing.
True healing. Me, I didn't date.
Yeah.
I stopped dating. I took time to, that's when I got my personal trainer license and went to real estate. You know what I mean? I started pouring into myself, stuff that I wanted to do. Got my real estate license stuff and did those things and just started self-focusing.
Yeah.
Started doing more self-care.
Yeah.
And because I was in a growing and healing season, to be honest with you, I did a lot of stuff on my own and didn't share a lot with people. I kept a lot of stuff to myself. And I did a lot of crying and praying.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of that by myself.
I was gonna
people would see me
too.
outwardly and think everything was good. Internally, I would be up at like 3 in the morning just praying to God to get me through it.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not an easy thing to get through it. And a lot of people think that, like I said, you know, I can honestly say, I feel like I now coming where I am today, it took me probably almost 2 years to get here.
Yeah. But I've been able to, like, just in the time that, you know, we have been friends, I've been definitely able to just see a lot of growth and healing in you. But same for me. It was a lot of praying, and really, praying was like one of the main ingredients in my healing, because it was some times where I just did not understand why the attachment was not cutting loose. Like, why am I over here just hurting over a person that probably has moved along, you know? So that feeling, only God can heal that, in my opinion. So I did a lot of praying, but I also did some self-care too. I created a healthier routine for myself. I started writing,
Working out.
I started working out, meal prepping. It just seemed like one thing. It was like a domino effect. It just led into like other things. But that focusing on yourself is hard, because it can get boring. You know, you want entertainment sometimes, especially if you're used to having people around you. So isolation is not an easy thing for some people. For some people, you are natural loners, and I respect that. But for other people, especially if you've been in a relationship for a while, or if you've been in relationships back to back, taking that time to really be like, okay, so why have I dealt with a person like this? And then diving into that topic and looking at what you did, the part you played, because we play a role, even if it's just staying with a partner who we know is toxic. We play a role, and so that role could be from having daddy issues, and those daddy issues might be like the root of your problem that you need to deal with first, so that you can go back to dealing with people and not dealing with them in an unhealthy way, where you're just attaching yourself to toxicity. So that's just an example, but thank you for sharing that. What about the stigma that healing has? Because I do feel like it's a stigma. Hold on, Kat said something else. She said, also, if you don't have trust and share too much, they will throw it back in your face. That is absolutely right, but they will only throw it back in your face if their intentions are not well with you. Because if somebody that I truly love tells me what somebody did to hurt them, I'm never doing that, or I'm going to be more aware of how I'm handling you, so that I can handle you with love and care.
Somebody who cares about you and loves you is not going to throw it in your face.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So keep that in mind, boo thing.
And
but okay, so the stigma, because I mean,
yes, I do feel like there is definitely a stigma. First of all, we'll just say amongst women there's a stigma. Like, I feel like when I was going through it, you know, there have been times where there would be like little funny, you know, like people like
she's
healing.
She's
glowing, and
healing.
you know what I mean? Because I would, you know, do little hashtags, like, you know, you know, people do digs and try to be funny, but at the end of the day, to me, if I have to attack somebody for trying to be better, there's something wrong with me.
Exactly.
I'm unhappy myself. So,
yeah.
But there is a stigma against it. Even when men, if you see, like, you'll hear women talking about it, like it's like there's something wrong with you, and it's like nothing's wrong. It's just I want to be a better person. I want to grow. I want to change. I want to do different things.
So I have actually heard from a couple of guys, and if we have any guys on the live, you are more than welcome to chime in and advocate for your gender. I know you all are not the same, but I have actually heard a couple of guys say that they are not interested in dating women who are on a healing journey.
But I feel like that's because they can't play with you.
This ill bitch.
Right. Nobody want to talk to her. I can't run this damn game on her. She got her head on straight.
Okay.
So,
but I'm
not always.
normally. Not always. But
what grown man ain't gonna want a woman who's got her, like, who has her head, like, who's.
Yeah, and I don't want to carry my baggage from the last relationship into this one. I mean, let's be honest.
Because if you're unhealed and dating a man who he's aware he's a toxic person or wants to run game, he's gonna want you to stay in that same headspace.
Right.
It's because when you're in that headspace, it's easy to run game on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
So when you're not in that headspace, I mean.
And not all men have that stigma, but I think that even a personal stigma, you know, I think that some men don't even realize that they need to heal from situations.
Oh, men need to heal too, girl.
Girl,
females.
Y'all heard that men need to heal too.
Men need to heal too.
And I think that stigma especially in our African American community, that men don't feel comfortable with doing things to take care of their mental, like getting a counselor or like getting a therapist. I think that there is a large stigma on men healing, and I think that some men, instead of healing and doing the work, they do jump into these other relationships.
Or just hurt the people that.
I
have
people.
made a comment to a man before and said, I don't know who hurt you in the past, but every woman has paid for it since her.
Girl, say that one more time.
I don't know who hurt you in the past, but every woman has paid for it since her.
Yes. And some men will make you feel like that. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but have you ever just seen how a guy operates and you be like, who hurt you? Or like, how were you raised?
Where is your mama? Like,
yes.
I need to talk to her.
Okay. All right, so we got Brittany Javon said, I had to come to realize that some people will not like the healed version of you. Mm-hmm.
And they actually the unhealed. Yes, ma'am.
Girl, let's talk about it. Let's talk about
also,
that.
Also, when you're healed, it's so contagious. So if they ain't ready to heal, they are out.
So
that
me
is
and
so
Michelle,
true, Brittany. That is very true.
You
hey, girl,
hit a nail in the okay. You hit a nail in the coffin. Thank you so much for putting that, because when me and Michelle were like talking about this topic, we talked about how some people benefit off of you not healing.
Yes.
And so once you're in that healed space, you're in a space where they can't reach you. They can't benefit off of you because you have leveled up.
Yeah.
Your mind is in a different space. And so you're thinking clearer, more opportunities are available for you. You are available for you in more ways than you were before. You're aware of things, and so you're moving differently. And so that person is foreign to them. It's foreign to them, the new you. And even in my healing journey, I had somebody kind of jokingly, one of my exes kind of jokingly was like, yeah, this new you.
Right.
And you know what?
And
I was just like, oh, okay.
I told you that. I was like, girl, that's because they can't benefit nothing off of
Can't benefit nothing, okay? I ain't got no nookie available for you, no time available for you, just a prayer. Okay? But I love that she said that, because people they can benefit off of you not turning into the best version of you. They want to keep you right where they are. Okay? They want you to be right there, level with them.
You know you heal when you look at them and you just be like, dang, you looking so old and tired.
What was I thinking? I can't believe I stayed that long.
Like, what is wrong with you? Did you look like that a couple years ago?
Yes. Oh, man. And so, okay, I would just say that I would love it if women supported each other more through healing. You know, sometimes I feel like women, like you said, kind of like frown upon or kind of like jokingly talk about another woman going through their healing journey. And like, you know, what does that look like? So like, to be honest with you, for example, if there was a girl who had 4 trash baby daddies, okay? And then all of a sudden she got into this super healthy relationship and people would talk bad about her, like, you know, all of a sudden instead of being like, you know what, she's doing better for herself. I'm so glad she's got a better selection. I want more of that type of energy for our ladies, you know?
Yes. And that's why it's so important, the circle you have around you. Because if you have people who aren't supportive of the things that you do, envious or jealous of it, it's just never, you can't be friends with those people. You know what I mean? Because they're always going to live in your past.
Yes.
And want to talk about your past. And you're trying to move forward.
Yeah.
So I know in where I am now, I can't be back there.
Yeah.
Like, back there is back there for a reason. And a lot of times people can't heal or move on or grow because you're always looking back there.
Right.
You're never moving forward. You're talking about what happened, with the life you had 5 years ago. Like, okay.
You just made me think about
like, move forward. Like, you have a whole life up there waiting for you, but you're so busy back here talking about what you did 5 years ago that that life up there might be better.
Yeah. You just made me think about in the Bible when God turned Ruth into a pillar of salt. I just like thought about that right when you were talking about that. But yeah, and then also I just want to say too, like, to any of you that may be watching that may be like just coming out of a situation or who may be in a season of isolation. First of all, you're not alone because I'm in isolation with you. And it doesn't always feel great here, but there are times where God has had to remind me to not focus on what I don't have and to focus on everything else that I do have around me. My healthy friendships, that my girls who got my back, who are covering me in prayer, who are checking on me, who are getting me out of the house, my family who loves me dearly, my children who look up to me and that I constantly have to show up for them. So focusing on what is around you and not being so distracted that you're not pouring into those things because you're focused on what's missing. But there's so many other things that aren't available. So even in a season of healing, focus on these beautiful other relationships, even if they're not intimate. Focus on those beautiful relationships and connections that you have built. Because I like the saying, girl, I heard this saying years ago, nothing can get you through something like God and good girlfriends. Girl, every time, every trip.
That she can tell you in our year and a half of friendship, like, woo, we definitely have to come through for each other. Like,
listen, yes, we have.
we have definitely had to come through.
Yes.
Like, where I've had to pull up. Like, you know, just
and
through the journees, like, that we
Yeah.
shared in a brief moment of time. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Tara, I'm on my way. No, I'm good. Okay, girl. Do.
Yes.
Like, but she do the same for me. So, you know, it's been like, hey, I need to pull up. Like, but you need people like that in your life.
Yeah.
So that you know.
So I would say that's another healthy thing that you could do to heal is surround yourself with positive people that are going to pour into you, or, even if it's just for that moment. And then if you get back home and you by yourself and you drain, it may make you feel just a little bit less drained than you would if you decided to shut down on everybody. Now, I will say there were some times in my healing that I did need to shut down on everybody. And I just needed a me day. Yeah, I've done that.
I messaged her, didn't hear from her. Next day, like, hey, you know, you
Like
alive.
Casper
You
the
like,
Friendly
you
Ghost.
like, and she was like, girl, I just do not disturb yesterday. I just being in that moment, and I respected that. But I knew, she knew if I didn't hear from her at some time.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up. Like, what's going on with you? Like, are you good? Especially if I know somebody's going, you know, through that process. But there again, we had that mutual love and respect for each other. So.
And that difference that we seen a video, Michelle shared a video with me about a woman talking about people that are attached to us versus people that are assigned to us. And so people that are attached to you, once it's not benefiting them anymore, those are the people that are going to switch up on you. It's not like a mutual balanced relationship.
It could be
It could be a friendship. It could be family. It could be whatever. But those are the type of people that really once you express, you know, that you have a need, those people may get ghost on you or take a step back from you. But versus people that are assigned to you, those people want to make sure that they're pouring into you in all the right ways, and they're going to be there through thick, through thin, through good, bad, and different. So ask yourself that question: who is assigned to me, in my opinion, and who do I feel like is attached to me? Who is just here, and who is really, really here and being intentional about being in my life? So, woo! I think we did really good.
Really good. So what I do want to say while we are on our live is we are going to try to get better at, like, now our lives, you know, plus winter's coming, so we'll be like inside more.
Yes, and it was a lot going on these past
I've had a lot going on.
You have. So
we both, you know, you got two little ones. So the objective is to try to do wisdom and wine once a month.
Yes.
So keep, you know, put topics on the page.
Yes, drop some in the comments.
Like in the comments, whatever it is you want us to discuss. We're still going to have people on here with us. whether it's a friend. So if you want to be a guest, we'll have you on. We're also wanting to, still highlight entrepreneurs and people who have businesses,
Yes.
and so they can talk about their story and how they got started for people who are trying to figure it out or want to know how to get started with it. I mean, we both do entrepreneurship and, so we want to highlight other people and, what they're trying to do out here and give people their flowers while they're still here. And
Amen to that. And also, I am going to do I do walk-in Wednesday. So my business is called Growth University. You can find me on Facebook. I would create positive content that is meant to promote and stimulate mental health, especially for our African American community, but for all. I love everybody, and there are people who went through things that are in different ethnic backgrounds. But I do something called Walk-In Wednesday every other Wednesday, and this Wednesday coming up, I'm going to be going live talking about toxicity and toxic individuals, and that kind of piggybacks with this topic on healing. So I would love for you guys to take that deep dive with me. I'll be live at 6 o'clock, and if you are interested on Wednesday, check out the Growth University page. Make sure you like and follow so you can keep updated. I also do in-person and live mental health workshops. So we are definitely all in this, and I am so proud of us, though, just for healing, because I'm not even completely.
What our friendship has it brought out of it. Like we were doing this, and then we combined Growth University with it. And
Yes.
I mean, but from there,
everything though is everything that we're working on is helping us to grow. And talking about this kind of stuff is helping us to grow. It's helping us to engage. And also just show other people that they're not by themselves in some of the things that they may be experiencing or going through. So, yeah, I just want to say thank y'all for joining in to Wisdom and Wine.
We will definitely be back soon.
We'll be back.
Because what is this, the end of September? So we'll definitely try to be doing another one next month. I'll try to let everybody know at least a few days in advance, not quite last minute. We wanted to try to get one in before September was over. So. Yeah. And this just happened to be something we was talking about, so we was like, let's just talk about healing today, so we want to get it going. So we hope everybody has a blessed, safe Friday night. If you're going out, be careful in the streets.
Yes. And if you are healing, just be intentional about your healing. Yes. Take it seriously, even if nobody else takes you seriously. You take it seriously, and you really figure out what you want the healed version of you to look like, and then you start walking into that, because you walking into your worth is going to make a difference in the type of relationships that you allow in your life. So peace and love to y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Wisdom and Wine.